Welcome back, everyone, to the LCS Proving Grounds. We got a little bit of queue time while we wait for the second game to get underway. So, Solaria is here. We got to get your take. Obviously, being integrated into the AM developmental scene, into the developmental scene in NA as a whole. We got to get your takes on the up-and-coming amateur players here. And I know you've got a list for me, and I'm very excited to pick through it. First on that list, though, Solaria, it is Winnie. Let's talk about the man himself.
I think it's no surprise that Winnie's on my list. I mean, I was his manager back in Collegiate way back in 2017, 2018. I've been following his journey for a long time. I think Winnie's like an exceptional jungler. But moreover, it's just his improvement year to year, and even like the last few months, month to month, he's gotten better every single time. That like he just keeps getting better, and he got a little bit of a break earlier, I think earlier this year or late last year, but I think he needs. It's coming soon. I'm just really excited to see more of Winnie.
Yeah, I think this guy, obviously the growth he's shown, but as well as, having to go a little bit through the NA developmental system and trying to find the best way forward for himself. And I'm just really excited to see that continued growth for Winnie. So definitely a good shout out on an up-and-coming player.
I mean,
next, go ahead.
I just love his playstyle and seeing where it's grown to become. It's just, he's probably my favorite jungler in amateur to watch right now.
Hey, you hear that, Whitty? If you're watching, you got a fan here. We got next up though on the list, we have Draco as our second up-and-coming amateur player.
Genuinely, I wrote off Draco. I didn't think he would be anything coming into it. I had no idea who he was. Like, Draco signed to CLG Faith. Who's Draco? Like, I don't know who this guy is. So I wrote him off completely. I have been impressed. I am fully on the Draco train. I'm so excited to see more of him. I think, like, he won me over instantly and just kept getting better.
Yeah, it's also against, some of the top tier amateur talent we have, as well as these outplays, the individual skill we see from this guy in the up and coming space.
Yeah, I mean, like, he doesn't have a ton of competitive experience. I was actually really surprised he had very little before getting picked up. But genuinely, I think with a little bit more time in the competitive scene, more experience, we could see him move into Academy. I think it's possible.
Absolutely, and we know, the top lane talent is very differing in Academy itself. I would love to see Draco influence that to some extent, because you always need some mechanically intensive players as well. But that competitive experience, definitely something to keep an eye out for Draco. So nice second choice. Now we got one more name on the list here, Solaria. So for the final up-and-coming amateur player that you have for me, it is none other than Lynx.
I mean, I've also been hyping up Lynx just a little bit earlier in this, in the first qualifier, but he's had 2 pentakills this entire season. That's a lot of pentakills for one player to have, and honestly, like, he's so good. I keep saying it, but like, I'm thoroughly impressed with his improvement, his development, where he's going, how he's been month to month. It's just, he genuinely feels like that carry type ADC you want for your team.
Yeah, it's also about, navigating the team fights, finding ways to support the rest of AoE when they move forward like this. And I think that's something super important to keep an eye on in team fights, and especially for Lynx as a development.
Absolutely. It's just, he's so good and so aware in team fights. Again, just another player I want to see more of. At like the next competitive opportunity, I hope we see all 3 of these players.
Yeah, it's a nice list for the up-and-coming amateur players. See if they do make their way into Academy next split as well. It is Winnie, Draco, and Lynx. So thank you, Solaria, for coming up with that list and talking about these players a little bit more. It's really nice to hear your perspective on a lot of the players as well. I do want to bring back Deserex and Smax to talk more about that first game of the series, where it's very one-sided. I will just come out right and say it. I'm not hiding, not pulling any punches. Smax, gotta ask you, first takeaways from FlyQuest's domination in Game 1.
I think if you're going to play a really strong bot lane pair, dying in the first minute of the game is not what you want. That's my hot take. I know.
You don't say.
It might be a little controversial, a little bit. But yeah, I think that definitely put TSM's game plan behind quite heavily because you saw Tomo was able to walk back to lane with an extra longsword against Draven. Like, Draven's supposed to be the one to do that. He's supposed to be the one who has an extra BF sword whenever he presses Q, not Aphelios. So now you have a pretty big issue. And that issue only got bigger as the game went on.
I mean, throw it back to
exactly.
like the fight where they tried to 1v1. You had just a serrated Dark and a Vampiric Scepter on the Draven. Tomo had Gale Force fully completed. I mean, the amount of money he was able to get in those early stages from all the plates, you know, you can tell it was a game plan set by FlyQuest, and one followed through. Neutralized Draven Renata, and the Draven Renata did nothing throughout the rest of the game.
Exactly that. Solaria, last little bit here. What does TSM Academy have to do to come back into this series?
I think they need to be more aggressive. Be more aggressive in the early game. Make it happen before they can shut you down. Just start early and keep swinging.
Hey, gotta keep swinging. We'll see if they can come up dubs in game number 2. Smax Tesseract Champ Select is ready, so take it away.
All right. You heard Solaria, Smax. You gotta keep swinging. You gotta keep bringing it. We're not changing anything up here. I'm stumbling over my words while punching. Anything up here at the Champ Select. That's what I am actually curious about, because I believe we are changing things up for the first time today. We're having a side selection. Swap.
It's over here. They are on the blue side. And yeah, that's absolutely true. The biggest thing that I think about when I hear what Solaria's advice just was, like, trying to play aggressively earlier, is like they had the Vi on their team. You just gotta go punch somebody, like we were just doing. You gotta take the Vi punches. You got the big gauntlets that she stole from Jace or whatever, and she used them on the enemy team's face. That's what I want to see. And you know what? FlyQuest is doing them a favor on the side of TSM Academy and taking away this Poppy that gave them such an issue in that last game. I have a strong suspicion that Poppy will just continue to win every single game that she's picked in this tournament.
Yeah, Poppy is way too valuable for a jungle pick. It does too much, Smax. I agree with you now. I am completely sold. This leaves TSM to grab the Azir. Another one that Takeover is very good at, you know, I did talk about Spyrax being the king of Azir. You did mention Takeover plays a lot of it alongside the Sylas. You know, both of these champions, both of these players absolutely love this champion.
It's good to take it away from Spyrax too. Like, first picking it, we've seen in a lot of series, including the earlier one just today, that Azir is worthy of a first pick. He does a lot of stuff in that lane, but it's also another thing when Spyrax is the best Azir in the tournament. If you take him off of that champion without even having to ban it, and you get all that power on your side, then that's really big. But speaking of power, FlyQuest, they've actually decided to take the early game angle for their own, and they're going to go for the exact same mirror that we got in the last series, Desrex. Game 1, it was Aphelios Lulu versus Draven Renata. Game 2, it's Lucian Nami versus Zeri Yumi. What is going on?
It's the patch. It's the patch. That's all I'm going to put it on. Once a new patch comes out, there's always going to be those things that are more comfortable to play with that people have already figured out. We kind of saw that at the start of 12.10, but I'm done with that thought. Spyrax has pulled out the Akali, so whoa, Smax, whoa, we are going heavy with the hands for FlyQuest Academy.
Yes. All right, I've got a bit of a story here. Spyrax
Story time with Smax.
On Akali. When he was on Maryville, when they were in the collegiate space and they made their run all the way up to that finals to play against Winthrop, they had to play against Bethany Esports first. And Spyrax had to go against what was revered as the best mid laner in that tournament, Bradley, who you'll know now is the top laner for Team Liquid Academy. Spyrax had to play against Bradley and his team of a lot of one-tricks on their team. They had Hunter on the Nunu and Willump in the jungle. They had a Shen one-trick in top lane. And it was really Bradley who was the guy who was going to get a really solid matchup in that mid lane because they were expected to play against Wolfie. Talking to the coach, Colomer, that's what they thought was going to happen. Maryville subs in Spyrax, and he plays these assassins, and it's completely different from what Wolfie was going to bring to the table. And they completely boomed Bethany because Spyrax's game plan was so wild and so mischievous with all these assassins that he beat Bradley up and won his team that series to make it into the CLAW finals. That's the Spyrax that we're going to be seeing today, except he's even better now because he's got a whole year of Academy under his belt. I'm so excited for this.
He boomed me. I know my NBA references. as I will finally get one of those in. But
Nice.
yeah, this makes me absolutely excited. We've seen it sprinkled here and there throughout the regular season, and the things we've seen from it have been phenomenal. He pulled it out against Evil Geniuses when got 8 kills deep in that game. Can pick off backlines like no tomorrow, and it's going to be paired alongside this Xin Zhao, which puts lots of pressure onto the map very early on.
A lot of pressure throughout the entirety of the Rift here for FlyQuest Academy. They are very early game focused. They're very lane focused right now, especially in that bottom lane. And Spyrax is on a champion that he can roam on and find kills with the Lucian and the Nami later on. We're just going to have to see what Kumo decides to lock in that top lane and see if they're going to go fully aggressive in this game or if they go for a more scaling option. Ornn is gone though, so a lot of those are gone.
A lot of picks no longer available. Stuff that Kumo has played in the past has been a little bit more of the aggressive picks, the Camille's, Yone's, Trindamirs if he's not on that Ornn. It's what he's tend to lean towards. Trundle will get locked in. So this makes it hard to go for something a little bit more on the tanky side if you get those stats taken away. Would be nice for Anda to just walk up and go ahead and pound away with that club, but finally getting the answer that I've been waiting for. What is Kumo going to play? He's hovering over towards that Yone 4 times played in the regular season.
I would like the Yone here, and yeah, he is going to lock it in. I like the matchup into the Gnar. You can close the distance very well multiple times against the mini Gnar. It's not quite as specific of a counter pick as his brother Yasuo. But Yone provides a whole lot more in those team fights, and they don't have the setup in this team composition for Yasuo anyway. So this is the better option, and you can even go for a tank build if you really want to. You can go for that Sunfire Aegis, Blade of the Ruin King, Yone option, and you can still be a frontliner for your team, which Kumo is doing such a great job of in that last game. So a lot of options here. I like the Yone. I like the comp from FlyQuest. I'm much less convinced in their late game, though. They do actually have to put the pedal to the metal and win very fast like they did in game 1.
You know, that's the thing, Summer. I feel like this is a flip. The wrong team took the advice of Solaria. Solaria was saying, start fighting early, start fighting early. FlyQuest is like, yeah, we're going to fight early. Lucian, Nami, let's go. We're fighting early. Go ahead and give me that Xin Zhao. We're going to fight. But as you said, it is early game agency. It's a lot of early game presence. It's not that much for the late game. That's what TSM is going to be playing for, trying to stall out a lot of this. I do think Anda's on the right champion for that, being on the Trundle as well.
Well, let's see if Arya's advice was correct. As if FlyQuest are going to be the ones swinging early, maybe they can bring us to a 2-0, a very fast day here on the LCS channel. I don't think any of the other days have been 2-0, 2-0, have they? Or maybe I'm forgetting one.
I think we've had... Okay, I think it was a play-ins day where we had nothing but 2-0s. And I think there was one 2-1 in there. All right, well...
I believe you are correct.
Yeah. We're ready to hit the Rift now. So what could be our final game of the day? Can TSM bounce back and take us to a game number 3? TSM Academy versus FlyQuest Academy. Elimination on the line.
We get to see Spyrax's Akali today, Deserex.
The Naruto run.
Cannot wait. Is he using the Star Guardian? Oh, he's not. All right, never mind. I'm not excited anymore.
I am.
He needed to use Star
That was
Guardian.
KDA,
Akali, but
wasn't it?
It is KDA. But it's not
Like
Star Guardian
KDA,
Akali,
Smacks.
so.
Really?
I mean, KDA is like fine. But Star Guardian.
Smacks, you're a sinner.
What?
You can't do that. You can't put Star Guardian above KDA. KDA is too much of a bang, bro. I
do like The Baddest. That's a very good song. I like that one a lot. And that one does feature Akali. So. Or no, Akali's... Is that Akali's song? It is, right?
I think that's the song of the
whole group. Is that Kaisa's song? I mean, I guess you're right, yeah. But they have, like, specific ones. Because
I think Kaisa's song was the drum
Seraphine.
one.
Oh, maybe you're right, yeah. See, I'm a bigger fan of Star Guardian than I am of KDA. I know all the stuff about Star Guardian. I've listened to the TSMA album many, many times.
I haven't.
You should. It's really good.
I'm sure it is. I gotta actually set time away from esports, away from the violence and competition that we're going through. But sadly, I'm still casting right now, still watching the game, and as we take you back into that game, taking a look where the jungle pathing is gonna go. Yuji starting bot side, so is Anda in this case. They will be pathing upwards, and it'll be interesting to see where that priority does play to. It takes a little bit while before Akali 2 come online, needs to get that first item. Kumo can be absolutely phenomenal in a lot of these team fights with the Yone if he popped that ultimate in the right spot, but still dealing with Soul onto the Snar. First path up there will be Anda. See if we get any interference, Max.
Yeah, it's super interesting what Anda's decision is compared to Yuji's in his first clear, because Anda, he's keeping his options open right now on the top side specifically. He went for red and then directly went to top lane. This way, he can hit level 3, and if needed, he can make an appearance top lane. And it looks like he's determined that it might be needed, as we have Kumo pushing in that wave. He actually does get a really good timer, and Anda instead is going to go for an invade, but it's spotted.
And the reverse clear into the invade. But this invade had an intention of going for the gank over on the top side, not trying to catch out Yuji. Kumo knows. Kumo definitely knows. That's why he's so far away. Even when there's a cannon minion right there, has to use that action to be able to get back just to secure that cannon creep. That presence alone is enough of a threat and does give a little bit of leverage over to Soul. Not going to stop Anda from visiting other lanes.
I can't believe how effective that plan was for FlyQuest Academy. They completely read Anda like a book. They had the word ready on both angles for the top gank. They knew that Anda was going to start on that red buff and do exactly what he did, and they had the perfect timing. You saw that ward died literally immediately as he stepped on it. They had the exact timer down. This is really impressive stuff. And FlyQuest Academy, they have all the advantage that they could possibly want because of it. Kumo gets to survive this lane. Tomo and Diamond get to push and harass to their heart's content on Lucian Nami. The ideal situation in that bottom lane for sure. So FlyQuest, they've got the early read on lock. Let's see what they can do with it.
Got the early lead, early read, and a little bit of early aggression on top of that. What we weren't seeing out of TSM last game was when they took that very aggressive bot lane, they didn't get any advantages. While we're seeing that flip this time, the Lucian Nami combo is pushing into the Zeri and the Yumi as Yuji now starting to focus up into this mid lane. Looking for a gank opportunity, looking for a kill opportunity will be Tomo and Diamond quite soon. As they'll jump forward, a nice sidestep from Tactical gets away from the bubble, and there's the exhaust being used. Trying to body block is going to be Diamond. He flashes onto the body block. Diamond will protect his marksman, protect Tomo, and Mia is just a cat on a book. What can he do to take down Tomo? Tomo will get the final shot in, and Anda is just trying to pick up the scraps of a complete disaster for TSM. He will get the shutdown.
Oh, that was so brutal for Tactical and Mia. They saw one possible opportunity to overcome the Lucian and the Nami, and they just misexecute plain and simple because Diamond, they did not account for him blocking every single one of these auto attacks. So you have to watch Tactical. When he dashes, he gets 3 spread autos. There's one, he missed it. The second one lands on a Tomo. He misses the third one as well. And then Diamond gets to tank the 4th auto that would have otherwise killed Tomo. Tactical just missing his skill shots. That's the only thing. The only way that you're able to deal damage on Zeri is if you land your auto attacks. And unlike every other marksman, you can very, very easily miss them. Tomo and Diamond completely outplay the Speedster.
And what a great body block out of Diamond. Keeping his marksman alive, Tomo is going to reap the benefits of that, going 2-1-0 very early, giving FlyQuest a great place to play around because this is Lucian Nami. It bikes in the mid game. It only gets more disgusting as we go.
We'll see if TSM can do anything on the other side of the map. Got Gnarl.
Ultimate going to be used out of Soul. Collapses onto Kumo, and Kumo trying to run away from this one, but he's got Anda and Soul on top of him. Gets caught out, Soul able to read and get that kill now. Returning fire onto Yuji. Yuji, 3 talent strike, gets the knock up. Soul, 200 health for the remains. Enough health to get him underneath the tower.
Yuji's going to need to crash this wave underneath the turret as well, just so it is not a super disastrous situation for Kumo. It already is pretty rough, though, as he's the one who dies very early on. A nice gank from Anda to respond, and just shows that the ranged champion of Gnar still very effective. Into the Yone. This could be tricky.
Clear that wave faster, Soul. Clear that wave faster to make sure it's not going to happen. But in the mid lane, Spyrax gets pulled in by the Emperor's Divide. Makes so much distance, but it can't stop the lock-on of the turret.
Oh, takeover. He really read that situation as well. Spyrax way too aggressive on his shuriken flip, dashing underneath that turret. His Takeover has all the tools that he could possibly need to make that one a full-on punish. Nice solo kill here for Takeover, and we know that this guy has been the most consistent member on TSM in many, many ways. Maybe he is the one who can keep them from losing in Proving Grounds and being knocked out of the tournament today.
Being on his deer is the right way to get it done, especially against Spyrax. Stopping Spyrax's Akali and making sure that doesn't come online would be absolutely huge, but it is a long, long road as we are only 7 minutes into this game, and Yuji is putting his attention onto the bottom lane. Tomo and Diamond shoving in this wave. They will have Anda in the general vicinity, but spotted out by the sweeper, Yuji is noticed.
Oh, if Yuji had vision there, he could have jumped on Mia, and it would have been lights out for the kitten.
Boy.
But it might be anyway.
Yeah, tidal wave goes out. The dash completely thwarted. Yuji will grab that kill onto Tactical. Exhaust goes out onto Tomo, but the calling doesn't care about Exhaust. Takes down Anda. Mia, the cat, oh so lonesome. Lost sent to a pet shelter. Spyrax will be the recipient of that kill.
Oh, Tactical. He tries so desperately to get the dash through the tidal wave, but he flubs it. Again, in this bot lane 2v2, FlyQuest have the advantage, mechanically speaking. Tomo and Diamond are fully outplaying their counterparts, who spent most of the split in LCS. Just shows the synergy that Tomo and Diamond have built up over the 2 years that they've been a duo together.
So close to getting that dash. Right on the edge, but Diamond clipping with the tidal wave ruins everything.
Yeah. And you already called it very nicely. Mia, there's nothing you can do as the cat after that. Usually, my go-to is just a spam laugh. They've got me. You got me. At least I'm going to put up some emotes or something. That's the only thing I can do, really. And yeah, Mia, he takes the more honorable way out, I suppose.
I suppose. There's not many other ways to leave that right there, Smacks.
You don't get many options.
What was the unhonorable way there?
Just laugh spamming. And spamming, you got your mastery emote, you got some other emotes you can throw up. I love the sad E. That's a pretty good one for that situation.
Oh, and Yuji stalking over where this Rift Herald is. We'll see if he puts that emote up, noticing that Rift Herald is not going to go his way. Gonna make a little bit of sadness for FlyQuest as they try and respond to that Rift Herald, but they're okay with losing out on that. Their early game has been pretty spot on thus far, 2K ahead, and Tomo just keeps pushing in this bot lane.
Got that Gale Force way before Tactical's Mythicus online again. Nearly up 2,000 gold on the Lucian Nami. This is how lethal this lane truly can be. If you give it all of this extra attention, Yuji is the one who's here. I love junglers. That gank bottom lane, that is my favorite kind of jungler. If my teammates are listening for solo queue, take this advice. Gank my lane, please. You can win.
Please, please, a speck of gank, a spot of gank, anything.
Please, I beg. If you don't do anything else right in the entire game, my solo queue teammates, it's going to be okay. As long as you get my lane ahead, I will forgive you.
Well, TSM are thinking about it, but they're not committing to it. Anda's going the other way, Smacks. Anda's going the other way. We're just going to be sad boys. We're just going to be sad boys in the bot.
I can't believe this. You know, it makes sense. Anda, the perennial duo with Viper for last year on No.org. Viper, I don't know if you knew this, his solo queue account is named Sup Come Top. He's rank 1 on the ladder right now.
Oh no, it's about to be bad. It's about to be real bad. Here's Yuji. He sees Anda, and he will get the first foot in on this assault, but it's into 3. Crescent Guard can be used, blocks a lot of damage. Tidal Wave follows through, and here comes Spyrax. Gets pushed away by the Emperor's Divide, but will still claim Mia nonetheless. FlyQuest off to the races in the early stages of this game, and it doesn't seem like anything's stopping them soon, Smacks.
That was an incredible outplay from Yuji. We have to watch that again because the timing on his ultimate could not possibly have been better. You have to be so careful when you're playing the Yumi of all of the crowd control options, and Mia forgot about one. Oh, Tac. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That was so fast. That was so fast. I looked away for a second. I looked back, and Tactical's blinking red. He will fall, and Dragon will be picked up by FlyQuest. Kumo forced to burn the ultimate to get away from Soul.
Bit of a one-shot there, Tomo and Diamond. I told you, their mechanics, they've been building it up for 2 years. This is what we expect of a lane that is so comfortable with each other through all of this time, and they're going to take the first turret as well. Of course, no Herald needed.
2 years, as you said. It's been a long time on this roster. I mean, Tomo joined FlyQuest Academy back in, what was it, the end of 2020, it was. And he's been with Diamond for a very long time. That's why we were so disappointed when FlyQuest weren't putting up the performances we were expecting, especially in this bottom lane. But it's a different story now. Tomo's looking good. Diamond's shining bright.
Yeah, absolutely.
Star Guardian
And,
reference for
you know,
why don't you, please, Smacks.
I loved it. It could have been Star Guardian. It could have also been just that his name is Diamond, which is a shiny material.
Ah, you're right.
Double pun.
Ooh, and speaking of shiny, Tomo looking for some more gold as he dives right on to takeover. A quick flash burnt out, and TSM on the back foot no matter where they go.
Oh, Anda and Mia, they're gonna spot Yuji in a fleeting moment and know that a dive could have possibly happened, but they were spared this time around. FlyQuest, they don't choose to go for the super aggressive play. I mean, that's what it feels like, right?
It does. I think it's a great choice of words, Max. You live today.
Yeah, look at the gold one more time. Tomo is now up 3,000 gold in the bottom lane. Ooh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's nearly the entire bot lane matchup, or the entire gold lead is just in Tomo and Diamond. Because Diamond's up a lot of gold too. Getting gold on support feels pretty good.
Tomo, he's so bloodthirsty, Smacks. He sees stack gold, it's like, mine!
It's pretty good. I'm really enjoying this look from Tomo. It's not.
So am I.
It's not super. Oh my god, forcing the flash as well, and now takeover. Oh boy, look away. Oh,
I'm not looking. I'm not play by playing this. I don't want to see. I don't. Oh, he's alive. Okay, never mind, Smacks. He's all right.
He did live. I think the Azir turret might have been too threatening, but Spyrax dodged the Azir ultimate, which was crazy. I really liked that one. But you know, you said earlier that Akali doesn't really come alive until she gets her fully completed first item. And we're not quite there yet for Spyrax. It's 14 minutes. He's been helping out his teammate a lot. He's been the supportive Akali for his squad. But I think this is about to be the Rocket Belt. Let's see. Yeah, we're in Akali time now.
It's Akali time. And with that purchase, expect to see fights coming out from FlyQuest quite soon. And they have something to fight over. Look what's spawning. Rift Herald, number 2, worth 200 local gold. A little bit more chunkier on top of that for those sieges. FlyQuest headed into that direction, but sending Spyrax towards the bottom lane as he does have that teleport.
I'll that girl. I'll go girl. I'll go stop. I'll go start. I'll go job. I'll go to work.
Bars.
We gotta see that from Spyrax. He's wearing the skin. This is a time.
That's what I mentioned at the start.
I know. I unfortunately don't know Korean, otherwise I would go in on the entire rest of the verse. Yeah, I cannot do that. I'm sorry. Sorry to all the fans. Oh my god.
I can't get over it. He forced out the exhaust. He forced out the exhaust underneath the tower, Smacks. What in the world is Tomo on?
Okay, another lesson for bottom laners. I always get flamed when I'm the support and I try to take heal. This is why. The AD carry is going to be in the middle of everybody. You're the one who takes ignite and exhaust. I'm just going to heal you. This is a much better situation. Tomo and Diamond, they know this. Diamond, I gotta respect Diamond here. This is the support dream, and he's living it. But when will it be my turn?
Soon enough. After the game, Smacks. After the game, we'll queue up together.
Yeah, we gotta play the new Kog'Maw Lulu skins. I haven't forgotten.
And I kind of forget just how long this duo has been playing together in Tomo and Diamond, because they go back all the way to Cloud9 Academy as well. Back when we still had Academy playoffs, Cloud9 basically had a foothold on that for so long. Tomo and Diamond, they are Academy champs.
Yeah, I guess I miscalculated then. It's been more than 2 years that they've been a duo. It's been like 3 years, because I forgot about that entirely. I was just talking about FlyQuest. So yeah, this is a very tenured duo. They must really like each other because they keep agreeing to be on a team together. FlyQuest looking strong with all the synergy. The power of friendship has allowed them to take 2 Rift Herald charges in the mid lane and continue that snowball. It's really, really good to see FlyQuest take this form in Proving Grounds. It's the lower bracket. They already got knocked down here by Dignitas Academy, but with this win, if they can keep it going, they'll make it into that top 8. They can maybe push even further, because I don't think we've seen FlyQuest actually make it into that top 4 quite yet since the existence of Proving Grounds. That would be a big feat. I'm sure that's what a big thing that they're shooting for.
The highest they've gotten, I believe, is top 6 so far.
I think so,
it would
yeah.
be nice. It would be nice to break into there. Would need 2 more series wins, including this one, to get to that point. But as it is for right now, TSM, it just hurts so much for them. They're so far on the back foot. It's looking grim. It's looking like there's not much of a chance of a comeback. And I don't want people to go around thinking that these are bad players, you know, that
of course,
TSM is just a group that they threw together randomly and they're never going to perform in Academy. No. Soul's absolutely fantastic. You know, there's a reason he got called up so quickly, as we're seeing that display on display.
Yeah, Soul's pretty good.
Soul will 1v1 Kumo, and the rest of FlyQuest will show up like, hey, wait a second, where'd our top laner go?
You could not possibly have timed that better. Yeah, Soul's pretty good at League of Legends. Kumo can't survive in the 1v1. Yeah, the whole team cleans him up, but that's a solo kill in my book. Nicely done there for Soul.
Solo kill.
Hey, nice.
All that being said, the FlyQuest is still taking the tower.
Oh yeah, this is still a pretty good situation for FlyQuest. 5K in the lead. We get to watch this again though. Soul, he crowd control layers this really nice. Hits all of his boulders. This is the picture-perfect Gnar. He even buffers his ultimate, so while he's being knocked up, he still is stunning Kumo. Some good mechanics there.
Good mechanics from Soul. Very young prospect.
Anime girl. Look at this part. Yeah.
Anime girl, as we know him.
See, that's the kind of clip. Here's the secret, everybody. For collecting clips for our B-roll and everything, our like little snippets, we'll probably clip that one. And then we'll cut it off as soon as he gets the kill onto Kumo, and nobody will ever remember that he died immediately after. It'll be fun.
Perfect. That's the plan we go for here. That's how we make players look good.
Yeah, I mean that was just a good play, but you know we can make it look a little bit extra good. TSM, they don't have a whole lot going for them in this game, but what they do have is a bit of scaling. We talked about how FlyQuest are the early game team in this game. That's still true, and you can see that it's true by the fact they have this really strong early lead. But that doesn't take away from Takeover's being on his signature Azir. He's so good at this champion. It scales tremendously well. He hasn't even died yet in this game, so he can get to a point where he can 1v5 these team fights and make it work super well. All right, you know what? That's respectable.
Yeah, let's not risk that.
Yeah,
he's already felt the heavy hands of FlyQuest before. Actually, he didn't, because we pretend that play did not exist. The second half of that.
Happen.
Now look at FlyQuest with an invade here onto the blue buff. Over the wall comes Yuji, jumps on to Takeover, but gets rooted out by the cat on book. Here comes Kumo. Will not get the ultimate onto Soul and Takeover. It's still going to be a kill though. Anda does fall. And FlyQuest, they feel like the entire rift belongs to them, as they will take that blue buff and walk on out to Baron.
Diamond doing a great job setting up that crowd control for the pick, but they only do kill one members. TSM do still have quite a few champions on the board they can use in this play, but Spyrax, he's looking for a flank.
Ooh, Spyrax, he hops onto Tactical. A burst of damage onto Tactical will use the Shroud. Now able to hop onto Tactical will be Mia to get some healing going, but the Baron secured. Simple hop keeps Spyrax healthy, keeps him alive, and Takeover and Tactical. They're considering if they want to go for this. They do have Soul on the sidelines. Backing up is going to be FlyQuest. The slow comes out from Soul with the boomerang. Bubble not going to land onto Takeover. Takeover, will he hop over the wall? Takes the jump, but hops right on back for the yo-yo. Trying to give the bait and switch. TSM cannot dissuade FlyQuest from that Baron, so it will go right into their pocket.
Hey, there was a slight desync there for FlyQuest on whether or not they should continue on with that fight and look for even more picks, but it's going to be okay for them. They do actually find themselves a Baron and a kill onto Anda. They can walk away feeling pretty good about that one, maybe even setting up for a Drake Soul if they even need it. They've already got a couple of those, and the next one spawning in 25 seconds. See what FlyQuest has in their ideas. They're going to lose out on an objective bounty. Look at that, Soul.
Okay. Soul good. Objective bounty picked up, so more gold going over to Sol, who currently has a pretty good KDA. 2-1-0, did well against Kumo over on that top side. Staying relatively even with the CS so far. And another thing to keep in mind...
CS, or the bot lane lead, don't look.
is that Sol will be here for this potential contest. Kumo does have teleport, but with the pressure being applied by FlyQuest, Sol can't get a window. Sol just can't get a window in.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. FlyQuest, they don't even need the Drake quite yet. They're making use of their Baron timer, getting all of the structures that they possibly can while they are handed to them. TSM Academy, they know that all they really need to fight for are these inhibitor turrets. As long as they're not losing those, they're honestly not actually that upset about it. It's still not comfortable, but they're not going to lose the game if they don't lose those inhibitor turrets. So we'll see if they can keep the grasp on those ones. About a minute left on that Baron. FlyQuest are choosing to use it to get pressure for this dragon.
As what was said earlier, individual skill, there's so much of it on Team Solo Mid. Even though they didn't click as a team, that's all from those shakeups that was happening. They click very much mechanically. They have hands, and they can display them. Looking to display them right now is going to be Sol once again, but can't bump into Spyrax at the right time for the Gnar ultimate. But now those hands gotta be put to work. They gotta stand right here and right now against FlyQuest, who are sieging away at their base. Tomo has been completely unchecked. Unchecked, I was about to say uncontested and checked at the same time, just merge those words together, but that's the way he's been playing. He's that type of player. He hops in for those kills to threaten TSM anytime they get even a speck close to him. Kumo takes the top tower, and the siege is starting to make TSM collapse big time. They have no authority anywhere else on the map but their own base.
That's the last Baron minion wave, though. It is now expired, so TSM, they can rest easy knowing that they didn't actually lose any inhibitor turrets. That's a pretty big deal. They still have the last defense of their base intact, and they do still have some scaling elements on their team. I'm going with the copium take for sure, but it's something you gotta do, because TSM, they do actually have that at their disposal. Takeover, if he can get a second item perhaps, gonna be pretty big.
Puts a lot of weight on to Takeover's shoulders, but he has been keeping up with Spyrax pretty well in this goal, just 300 between our two mid laners. Yep. In a game where FlyQuest is almost 10k ahead. So yeah, smacks. That bodes really well for TSM. It gives them some breath of life. It gives them somewhere to fight from. But again, that pressure is on Takeover, as well as Sol, to find a lot of these engages.
Sol, he did a nice job to get that solo kill up in the top lane, but the team fights are where we really need to see that big pop-off element from him. We know he's a very skilled tank player. Gnar acts as a tank. Once you do get that mega up and running, that's where you want to be for those team fights. So Sol, with this teleport, if he can make something happen, we'll see about that. As I think FlyQuest, they're wanting to regroup and win this game as soon as possible. Their AD carry has 4 items. He's not going to get too much stronger than this. And yeah, there's the display for you.
One combo from Tomo does that to Tactical. You know,
no ultimate.
What do you got left in the tank for TSM? What do you have left in the tank? We already highlighted Takeover and Sol. Good members to have. Anda, of course, could show up as well. If someone jumps in, getting that ultimate onto someone will make them paper. You could get a kill like that. And Anda is definitely someone who's used to pressure, for sure. Again, a Proving Grounds champion back in Nowhere. Our very first Proving Grounds. Anda took that title over Academy teams. Didn't see as much success over in Immortals Academy. It felt like a little bit of a flounder. Now coming back into the Proving Grounds, and it's looking great so far. It's looking great so far being back with TSM, but we need to actually see the performance there as a whole unit, not just individual performance from Anda.
He did get top 4 on Immortals Academy in Proving Grounds. The regular season was a little shaky, but the Proving Grounds results were not too bad. It just feels like it wasn't quite as good because he and Viper had just won everything.
Yeah.
Which, you know,
it's a downgrade.
It's a downgrade, but you can only go down from there. So I don't want to harp on his Immortals Academy impression that. You gotta give.
I'm not harping on it. I called him a champion.
He is a champion.
Still a
He's a champion of our hearts. Oh, okay,
and
we're
Proving
good.
Grounds.
We're good. Mia, you're scaring me.
Scaring you?
Gotta
What
keep
do
my
next?
kitten safe, no? Mia,
Blame
get
me
back!
for that. Oh, Spyrax. Spyrax flank. He goes after Enda. Run, Mia, run. Run the rest of TSM. There's so much danger just waiting in these woods, and FlyQuest send them right back towards their tower. But they do have the Azir tower right there. So it does provide some pressure, some leniency, and it allows TSM to have a foot into the map. They have pressure in the mid lane thanks to the setup from that tower alone by itself. They're going to need a lot more because FlyQuest are setting up on the flank, looking to go after Soul. The backline, Kumo gets Anda. Anda's going to fall to Tomo, who dashes forward, but Spyrax still waiting on the flank. TSM feel the pressure. They need to do something quick. Take over the wall, will go after Spyrax, looking for the Emperor's Define, but Spyrax will slip right on out and not be caught by the grasp of Takeover.
Oh, and it's still gonna be the Baron after all of that FlyQuest. They only get one kill, but it's the jungler again. They're so lethal with finding Anda wherever he is. And when those objectives are up, that's who you need to kill. And it's not just one objective that they get off of this. They're going to get the Drake Soul too, because Anda, it's a 2-for-1 deal. He doesn't have Smite, and both of them are alive at the same time. Oh, Soul. Okay.
So close, so close. That landed, would have been devastation. Soul will still stay alive, but that is the power, that is the pressure, and now it is all compacted with Dragon Soul acquired by FlyQuest.
Ooh, 11k gold, Baron, Dragon Soul, FlyQuest are looking very strong as we get to watch this play one more time. Kumo coming out of the woodworks with a massive ultimate, and then Tomo finishing it off. Love that look again from Kumo. He's looked a lot better in this series compared to some of the other ones that we've seen. I remember the ones before, it was looking pretty rough, to be honest. But the Gnar performance earlier, and now the Yone in that last team fight, my faith is restored, Kumo. I'm liking it.
Liking it, Kumo. You're stepping up. Even though it wasn't at the start of the game, you're stepping up now. That's what matters.
True. Yes.
FlyQuest.
Agreed.
Sieging in multiple lanes right now. TSM, what do they got other than Takeover finding the biggest Shurima shuffle of his life? You can't do it if FlyQuest are already engaging on you. Anda's down. FlyQuest are cracking the base open. And TSM, what can they do? What do they have left?
I don't know here, Desirux, but it's feeling like a FlyQuest victory lap right now. Feeling like a 2-0. They've got the Baron for another minute long. Let's see if they can end it right now. Kumo!
Looking for the final push onto Soul, who has that Mega Gnar available. Nexus Tower under attack, so close to falling. Soul trying to hop in onto Spyrax. Doesn't get the wall up onto Spyrax. Has to do it blind. Can't land it. Kumo goes after Tactical, and there it is. Ultimate gonna be used, only pushes away Yuji, but the kill is already acquired from Spyrax as FlyQuest closing out the game. A team that is no stranger to rising from the depths in spring from 8th to top 6 in PG while they look to run it back once again from the lower bracket. Wings clipped in the regular season. They spread them anew, taking down TSM.
Nicely done there for FlyQuest. Nicely done to you, Desirux. The wings. It's a callback to the old FlyQuest logo, yeah? The golden snitch.
Yeah, of course I
love
keep
the
that
look.
on there.
Yeah,
But love the look from FlyQuest, you know?
Yes, for sure. Everybody really felt like they were contributing in a big way in this series. That second game, the bottom lane, man. Tomo and Diamond on another level than what we've seen of them in the past. It feels like those improvements that Diamond talked about in his interview are fully coming forward and fully coming into the light of Proving Grounds as they make their way into that top 8. Really nicely done.
Really nicely done by FlyQuest. But again, I do want to give a shout out to TSM as a whole. I think they were given very bad circumstances. It's not representative of how good these players are. I think every single one of them, Takeover, one of my personal favorites when it comes to the mid lane. I love the way he performed in the regular season. Soul, Anime Girl, we talk so much about. Anda, already a champion. Tactical, LCS experience, Mia as well. I mean, this is a fantastic group of players. It's unfortunate that the team didn't click the way it did, but I mean, that shouldn't count them out.
There are a lot of players in the TSM system in both Academy and LCS that played in this year that I would love to see again in the next year. Been a rough circumstance for them, to say the least. I'm hoping for those guys all the best as they will bow out of Proving Grounds. Right now, And it's been a long journey for them, and a very emotional one for me, seeing some of my good friends through that whirlwind. But I'm looking forward to the future for these guys for sure.
Most definitely. Well, the future is at least bright for FlyQuest, who will continue on the lower bracket in Proving Grounds. We're going to take a moment to throw it a short break. When we return, Mazel will have an interview with our winner.
Welcome back to the LCS Proving Grounds. We're here with the Verizon post-game interview, and I'm joined by Spyrax from FlyQuest Academy, the Wonder Star mid laner. Man, after 2-0 victory, feels like an easy day for you guys. How has the journey been getting knocked into the lower bracket and now finding your way through it?
Yeah, I mean, we've been going through a lot of issues this past week as a team, but apparently TSM is also going through their own issues, so it wasn't that hard, honestly.
How have you felt about your performances in Proving Grounds, let alone your team?
Wait, say that again?
How have you felt about your performances in Proving Grounds so far?
I think round one I did a pretty good job against Blaze Olive, but to be fair, I was playing my comfort, my comfort
Yeah.
picks, I'd say, and round two against Dignitas, I don't think I played well at all. Actually, funny story, I drank a Red Bull like 2 hours before the match, and I kind of crashed right as the series started, so I kind
Oh,
of got
no.
flamed for that. But
That
it's
feels
fine.
so bad. But hey, you learn from it, right? You learn from it. I
Yeah,
gotta say,
obviously.
you say you've been going through issues with FlyQuest. Do you want to talk about those issues, or do you just want to talk a little bit about what you found success in this last week?
Yeah, I mean, it felt like we weren't playing as a team that well, and we weren't like communicating enough. I feel like some of our games were pretty silent, especially from mid jungle part. So it's kind of our bad, me and my jungler. But we pulled off a win today, and that's all that matters.
Is Diamond yelling at y'all again? He's trying to get you guys stirred back up, throwing it
Yeah,
your way.
I think nah. I mean, everyone's yelling at each other. Like, no, I'm
Yeah, hey,
joking.
I think that's good.
Well,
Yeah.
cool
Well,
as a team.
I want to talk a little bit more about Takeover, right? Your matchup today against TSM, right? It wasn't as contested as maybe we thought it was going to be, but in terms of this individual matchup, what do you have to say about the competition against Takeover, especially facing him in a match like this?
Yeah, I thought this match was going to be harder than it actually was because I feel like they match pretty well against us. I think their bot lane is pretty good with Tactical and Mia, and I think Takeover is one of the better mid laners. I think his lane phase is really on point compared to other mid, so I thought we would have a much harder time, but we were able to we kind of stopped them early, and then we just carried that our lead into the mid game and ended games that way.
That's some good momentum gameplay there. Speaking of momentum gameplay, though, you will be facing a tough opponent in the lower bracket next time around. It will be a best of against 100 Thieves to continue the lower bracket run. Do you have any thoughts going into that matchup? Do you have any thoughts in the matchup to Jimmy and anything along those lines?
I think it should be a pretty close series overall because I feel like we have both teams have like similar strengths where they have tenacity, which he is like one of the best top laners in the league, if not the best. But we also have Kumo, who is a really strong laner, and yeah, I think it'll be a pretty fun game or series.
I'm very excited. It's going to be a banger. I have no doubt. I just want to give you one last little bit. Do you have any shout outs anybody you want to talk about before I let you go?
Nope, I'm good.
All right. Thank you so much, Pyrex. It's a pleasure to talk to you. We'll see you later on in the season. So far, good luck in your next matchup.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to bring back Deserex and Smax after hear that. Hey, no words needed. The words, they were spoken on Summoner's Rift, Smax. What do you think?
Yeah, why would you need to shout out anybody except your own team, which he already did. He's
He
already
did.
hyping up his bottom
Yeah.
lane. I really like that he mentioned that he thought that TSM's bottom lane was really solid, and he was surprised by that result because I feel a very similar way. I think Tomo and Diamond completely outperformed them in every single way. I was super impressed by them in this series, and especially the Lucian Nami game. I think this is one for the highlight reels for both of them.
Yeah, right. They played a Phelios Lulu and still won out. And then they do the
Yeah.
aggro lane and still win out. Like, from both sides of the coin, they were still able to pull that off. Tomo and Diamond, absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest step up in the moment, right? Is like it was just holistically FlyQuest wins, right? There wasn't much room for kind of execution or things like that for TSM Academy, and that's, we've spoken about the bottom lane for FlyQuest before, magical coin to turn, right? The bot lane with cheat codes, and we're starting to see them come alive here, especially against a competition like TSM. But they have 100 Thieves right on the horizon, very difficult to kind of deal with. I do want to bring back in our guest to round out the day. Solaria, welcome back after a breakneck FlyQuest Academy series. What do you think about the FlyQuest squad? You think they're gonna be able to put up against 100 Thieves?
I think so. I absolutely think they can
Love it.
give one hell of a series. I think they can do it. I think FlyQuest can take them down.
Oh, in the
You think they
dark
can
horse
win?
run.
Woo!
In
Yep.
the dark
Yep.
horse run. Oh man. All right.
Dark
Well,
You gotta
we
stop
did-
calling the second seed
I'm,
the dark horse.
I'm doing it for the
You
rest of
cannot
the
keep
proving
calling
ground. I
them
don't
that.
care what you say. I will
Cubby's
be
gotten to
cringe
you.
till the
spent too
day
much
I
time.
die. I will
Golfing
be
with
cringe
Cubby
till
too
the day I die. Anyways, we got a little bit of game we've been trying to keep track of all day, even though we haven't gotten a lot of hits on the bingo card. We did have the support Mia bingo card from Solaria. We got the Yumi. And that'll be, I believe, the only one we got at the end of the day, Solaria.
You know what?
I'm pretty sad about this one. I mean, my bias towards melee tanky champs just didn't pay off. I don't know.
You know what? I
Missed the
really
mark
like
a
this
little bit.
because if you change the title at the top to which champions do most people want to be removed from the game entirely, I think it'd be really fitting.
That's a really long title.
Make it more snappy or something, but it's gotta get that point across.
Oh man. Well, hey, I appreciate the fact that we did get the shout outs on a lot of those picks. Even if we didn't get it, it's always nice to see, kind of the extra points that we get, right? Shouting out the Vi for SkyTech for earlier on in the proving ground. So thank you, Solar, for putting that together. Maybe next time we'll get more X's and hopefully players will be willing to play some of these crazy picks. But it is
Next time I will guess for the right region.
There you go. Exactly that. There you go. But it was a very quick day for us here on the desk, guys. 2-2-0s, 100 Thieves Academy coming up over Evil Geniuses Academy, and FlyQuest Academy taking home a 2-0 victory over TSM Academy. I think obviously important stakes for the bracket, but Desrex, just your thoughts on the day so far.
You know, my heart breaks for the teams that do have to go home, and I hope we do keep a good spotlight on them, as we do leave this side of the bracket and move on to the next stage, because there's so many talented players here, both in Evil Geniuses. Surdy, of course, top lane phenomenon. Smoothie looked phenomenal. Same thing with TSM, and a lot of the performances we were able to get out of TakeOver. It's a shame that we're wrapping up here. A lot of teams are headed back, unfortunately getting eliminated, and we are seeing the top of the standings now starting to show one match at a time, but it's getting me more excited as these storylines do unfold, right? 100 Thieves, you call them their dark horse, they're making the dark horse run. FlyQuest, the real dark horse, are making the dark horse run currently. Mortals Progressive been trying to click and find their own kind of identity alongside CLG, who are still working out a lot of things. There's so many great storylines here in Proving Grounds, and this is why every time Proving Grounds comes up, it's my favorite thing to watch.
Yeah, it's actually incredible, especially because, again, everything from here on out in the lower bracket are make it or break it, right? Like, you have to win these best ofs, and we see a lot of the top teams, a lot of top players and throughout a lot of these teams, and especially that bottom of the bracket, right? Like the 100 Thieves Academy versus FlyQuest Grand. These could have been two favorites coming into Proving Grounds in totality, but because of some of the things we saw earlier on in the tournament, this is where we find ourselves. Speaking of earlier on in the tournament, we got to go to the upper bracket here, Smacks, and talk about the journey we've seen for, the top of the bracket here for Proving Grounds.
Yeah. All right, I've got a few things to say here. First of all, you already know that I'm the amateur, the hype man, I'm the cheerleader. I am so proud of AoE Ginger Turmeric. They made it to the top 8. No amateur teams made top 8 last split. And here AoE Ginger Turmeric are. They're still at the top of the bracket. They just have to play against Cloud9 Academy. If they win that match, they're being flown out to Los Angeles. That's crazy. I really hope that we get to see that for AoE Ginger Turmeric. The other thing I really want to talk about, and the other thing you probably know about me is I'm the biggest Ayla fan alive, but
Of course.
I'm going to talk about their opponents, because Dignitas Academy are actually really interesting to me. That this team is in that top 4 of the upper bracket. I am really looking forward to that matchup against Team Liquid to see if they can hone themselves to that point where they can put up a competitive performance against Team Liquid, because it is my firm belief that Insanity is the best mid laner in this event, and he has
Okay.
continued to show it many, many times. I think Harry and JJ are linking up very, very well. I think that team has what it takes to make it to that top 4 as well, and I really hope they do it, because that would be quite the story.
It would be actually. Solari, do you have any thoughts about kind of the rounding out of the brackets, either upper or lower?
Honestly, like, no, I don't really have many specific thoughts about it. I just think everyone everyone who's still here really does deserve. No one got here on a fluke or an easy side of the bracket, or an easy matchup. They're here because they deserve to be in this top 8. We're gonna see some really good stuff. I'm excited.
Yeah. I'm so excited. We're getting to the last bits of Proving Grounds, and it feels like we just started it. So I'm very
really
excited
does.
to see what the rest of the tournament actually pans out to be. But I just want to say, Solaria, one last big shout out. Thank you so much for joining us on the desk. Where can we find you? What are we working on? What you got Challenger recently? Huge. Like, where can we get you? Where can we look at you?
I mean, happy to be here. That my Twitter's on screen. I mean, hopefully you might see me soon in some kind of competitive play. I have something maybe in the works. That'd be really
Ooh.
nice. But
Let's
otherwise,
go.
mostly just on Twitter. Looking to start streaming soon, potentially. We'll see.
Yes.
Hey, y'all watch out for Solari. All right, that's all I'm saying. Thank you, Smacks. Thank you, Desrex. Thank you to the production team. One last little shout out here. Got to give some big love to Rafa. It is the man's birthday, so all
Happy
the
birthday,
love in the
Rafa!
world, Rafa.
Happy birthday.
Thank you to the audience, to everyone tuning in, to the players, the staff, the reason why we're here. We wouldn't be able to do it without you. Thank you all. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow for more League of Legends.
Good night.